Ladies and gentlemen, this is an extremely important segment. If you haven't seen the last live stream, definitely do so. It's doing extremely well. I think something like 15,000 views in 1 hour. And I explain something that everybody should know about how media is covering the Arizona recount. The Associated Press, so I talked about CNN, so check out that segment prior to this one. Share this segment with anyone who feels that the Arizona recount is an obstacle to democracy, or anyone who wants to explain to others why this is a worthwhile endeavor. Hit subscribe, tell your friends about this channel. Eric and Luke, to my two moderators, thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, I don't have $20 million in venture capital funding, so your support is greatly appreciated, and I just thank you for your support. If you want to, give me your thoughts, ask a question, anything via super chat, thank you so very, very much. Your support is greatly appreciated. Now, this is a very important segment, just like my last one. I'm going to explain these vapid semantic games. These are vapid semantic games. They are not, okay, if you're interested in truth, you don't care which political side benefits from the truth. You can't simply say that Republicans don't have a right or shouldn't be concerned with the overall official number because two prior recounts showed that there was no misconduct. Well, the recounts did not address the concerns of Republicans in Arizona for various reasons. That's number one. They weren't as all-encompassing or as grandiose in scope as they would have liked. 1 to 2% of ballots isn't exactly what they're looking at or what alleviates concerns if you're a Trump Republican. If you're voting for President Trump and you're a Republican in Arizona, simply saying that, we already checked 1% of the overall number, what's the problem? They want a more thorough analysis. So that's number one. But the main focus is here. The Associated Press, fact focus. Now, they went from fact check, because people were just rolling their eyes, to fact focus. A fact, ladies and gentlemen, is Barry Bonds is the all-time home run champion. That is a fact. You can say, well, in my book, it's Hank Aaron. In my book, it's Henry Aaron. But in the record books, it's Barry Bonds. If somebody said, Babe Ruth is the all-time home run champion, home run king, you could say that is wrong. Here's a fact check. It's Barry Bonds. Fact check. That's it. Not we rate this claim based on the semantics or the definition of the words that Trump used. This is not entirely accurate. In fact, it's misleading. They don't eviscerate the words from President Obama or our beloved President Biden or Clinton or others. The New York Times says why Hillary needs to be two-faced. That's literally an article, an op-ed in the New York Times in 2016. But here, hit subscribe to this channel. This is a very, very important segment. And fact focus, a false narrative of 74,000 extra votes in Arizona. A false narrative. You can start off with the issue of a false narrative. Is it a false claim? They can't categorically say. See, the Associated Press and CNN, you'll see that what they've done is appeal to authority. They've said, well, we've experts and county officials have refuted this claim. That is not a fact check. That's not focusing on facts. That's not debunking anything. That's not necessarily refuting anything. An appeal to authority is just that. You are saying that, well, the argument presented is wrong because other people, really smart people, experts, disagree with that argument, so how could it be right? That doesn't refute or debunk or defeat any argument. You can't simply say the officials who have every reason to defend their initial number, the official number, they disagree with the allegations, so it's not. That's the narrative is false. If that was the case, President Trump for 4 years told the truth. He said, "I never worked with Russia." They didn't trust him. He was the president of the United States of America. They still didn't trust him. But if they find experts that agree with their viewpoint, you better believe it's an appeal to authority. Or there will be appeals to authority. But here, Cyber Ninjas, the cybersecurity consulting firm hired by Arizona Senate Republicans to oversee a partisan review of last year, on Thursday pushed a false narrative that the county received thousands of votes that had no record of being sent out to voters. It is false that this happened, because even the Associated Press acknowledges that the number over 74,000 is an issue. The county officials have acknowledged. The Associated Press and CNN have acknowledged that this is potentially concerning. This is an issue. They don't dispute the fact that there are tens of thousands of votes where we don't know if the discrepancy is due to misconduct, or we don't know if the discrepancy is just a normal part of the process. The Democratic Party, or Arizona Democrats, could be right. They could be right, ladies and gentlemen. Ringen Constitutional fact check. The fact checkers, thank you, Ringen. Ringen Constitutional, thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you for starting it off last time also. Everybody give a lot of love to Ringen Constitutional. Thank you so very, very much. Greatly appreciated. So it goes on. Thank you again, Ringen. Thank you. The firm's CEO, Doug Logan, used the baseless claim to urge legislators to demand more records and canvass voters. How is it baseless? It's based on a discrepancy that even the county acknowledges. Everyone acknowledges this discrepancy. There's nobody from the Associated Press or CNN or Arizona Democrats or Arizona Republicans who don't acknowledge that there is a discrepancy. The rebuttal is the third-party tech firm didn't know how to read the numbers, but they still acknowledge that there's a discrepancy that needs to be addressed. Grasping for evidence of misconduct as a hand count of a statistical sample of ballots, so 1 to 2%. See, again, pointing to 1 to 2% as a statistical sample it doesn't alleviate concerns, because you can get a batch of, a portion or segment of ballots or votes that might not be representative of over 2 million. So there could be, a segment used within the statistical sample that doesn't really that might not address the entire 2.1 million total. And 2 post-election audits showed no proof of wrongdoing. Okay, so we've addressed that. The prior recounts do not alleviate the concerns of Trump Republicans because they weren't thorough enough. Then the false claim has reverberated online in days since Logan's comments, parroted by lawmakers and Republican commentators, including Arizona Republican Party Chair Kelly Ward, Colorado Representative Lauren Boebert, and former President Donald Trump. All the usual suspects. So, Ringen Constitutional, thank you again. Yet, Yet this is here. Yet Maricopa County officials and election experts confirm. What do they confirm? What is it that they confirm, ladies and gentlemen? What is it? These words matter because it's like this is a vapid semantic game. The definitions of words matter, and how okay, they're trying to convince you that suspicion, your emotion, the emotion that you have, namely suspicion, is unwarranted. There's no reason for suspicion. They're not talking about the discrepancy. They know that there's a discrepancy that needs to be addressed. And they've confirmed, so yet officials and experts confirm that the claim isn't true. How do you confirm the claim isn't true? This is not logic, and represents a misunderstanding of how early voting works in Arizona. Okay. You cannot confirm something isn't true with your opinion, with your with conjecture or hearsay or gossip. You can't confirm something is not true. You can't confirm that you're right by simply presenting a different viewpoint without backing it up. Okay? That is not, you can't, that's like when they say that the Senate, the Republicans in the Senate, the Republicans in the Senate confirmed the high to moderate confidence assessment of Brennan and Clapper. You can't confirm an assessment based on high to moderate confidence. I can't confirm your viewpoint that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time because I too believe that. Because I too believe that. You can't confirm that. Robbie, hello. Eric and Luke, two best moderators in all of YouTube, thank you. So here, claim, Arizona's largest county received and counted 74,000 extra and had no record of ever being sent out to people. The facts, false. Categorically false. How do we know? Then it goes on to explain through conjecture, through opinion, through appeals to authority, but doesn't prove anything. The claim mischaracterizes reports. Mischaracterization, that's a subjective term. Arizona Republicans, the people who work at the third-party tech firm, would find this as mischaracterizing their viewpoint. The claim mischaracterizes reports that are intended to help political parties track early voting for their get out to vote, not tally. Okay, the reports don't represent all sent and received, so the numbers aren't expected to match, according to Maricopa County officials and outside experts. So the facts, false, and then the backing is according to officials and experts. What? That does not refute anything. JB, hello. That does not refute anything. You are not refuting anything. The Associated Press article is written in a way where if you just don't read all of it, you'll just think that Arizona Republicans they don't even know what they're talking about. The facts starts off false, and it's false why? Because some information refutes the initial claim or suggestions of possible misconduct or improper behavior or suspicion. So it's false. The claim refutes any suspicion, fomented or promoted by Arizona Republicans. Why is the claim false? Because of an explanation according to officials and outside experts. Why would I care about what outside experts think? There are also outside experts that work with Rudy Giuliani and Jenna Ellis and Donald Trump. Do you think those experts are being interviewed by the Associated Press or CNN? There are experts that voted for Trump. You don't think out of 74 million Americans there weren't experts in countless fields? You don't think scientists, academics, you don't think people who know that if their true vote was known that they'd lose their jobs, but they still voted for Trump anyway because of the apoplectic, immoral reaction of morally superior, wonderful, beautiful, liberal Democrats? The obsession they have with Trump is not healthy. They used to say that about Clinton, but nobody had a visceral reaction when they looked at Clinton. With Trump, there's like this visceral reaction. So they don't back up the claim. Their claim is that the suggestion is false. They're saying the facts, and they have a segment here. The article, it says the next, it says claim, and then it's the Cyber Ninjas claim and Arizona Republicans, and then the facts. False, according to officials and experts. You can't say something's categorically false because other people view it to be otherwise. You can't say something is categorically false because experts disagree with you, because you will always find an expert that disagrees with a consensus, and then those people are just, run out of town and disparaged. You can always find a group of experts that disagree with another group of experts. So the facts being utilized in this Associated Press article are the viewpoints of officials and experts. This is why Arizona Republicans have made a false claim. That makes no sense at all. That makes absolutely no sense at all. Then the next paragraph is, let's see here. We have 74,243, and there's no clear record of them being sent, Logan said at a meeting streamed at Arizona Capitol on Thursday. There could be something where documentation wasn't done right. There's a clerical issue. There's not proper things there, but I think when we've got 74,000, it merits knocking on a door and validating some of this information. Logan based his false claim on two types of early voting reports. Now, I don't know if he did. The assumption here is that he's basing his claim on reports that are used by political parties. So if he actually based his claim on that, then they say that's not accurate according to officials who tweeted. Why would I care about what an official tweets? And then there are actually question marks within that thread. Within the thread on Twitter, there are question marks pertaining to the rebuttal by the county official. So why would you appeal to a Twitter thread, or the rebuttal of an official on Twitter, when that is not evidence, categorical proof that Arizona Republicans have made a false claim? You need a definitive answer. Here's what happened. Here are the numbers. Here's the documentation. We can show you. We can show everybody. And the Republicans are wrong. That's what you need. Now, the Democratic Party could be right. Arizona Democrats could be right, but they haven't proven that they're right at all. Then it goes on to say, well, Arizona, takes in early number and then includes that early number with the numbers obtained on that night, on the night where the Orange Menace was up in, 7 states? 8 states. I think 7. That's what. So the Maricopa County officials tweeted later Friday that they calculated the true number of the true numbers before and then after. According to that count, nearly 450,000 requested then returned. So, a public relations consultant working said a county refused to answer questions posed by the team in private, forcing Logan to ask for an explanation in public. Mr. Logan never said this was misconduct or criminal. He merely stated the facts as they were provided to him and did not have an explanation. So, like I said, even in the last segment, Democrats could be right. The Arizona Democrats could be right about that, but there are like 10, 12, 13 other anomalies, major anomalies, that don't make any sense, bizarre incidents. Then there's a breach, a computer breach that even the county acknowledged. And then they said, well, it's not a big deal because they were only going after names and addresses, and that's public record. It's like, what? There have been numerous tech breaches, and I'm not even going to get into, but these are documented by reputable news publications, and nobody, absolutely nobody takes them seriously or even links them to any kind of possible misconduct. I mean, you could look at the tweet, the thread here, the tweets from the county officials. Logan is a Trump supporter who has spread baseless theories backing Trump's false claims. Do you ever say Steele is a Democratic Party supporter? Did you ever hear from the Associated Press Christopher Steele is a Democratic Party supporter who who compiled a dossier because he was paid by the DNC or by Fusion, which was paid by the DNC? You ever hear that? You ever hear, this Democrat despises Trump, so don't listen to anything he says? His firm is overseeing the GOP despite having no prior experience in this industry. Experts say it's not following reliable procedures. It's like, where are the experts that said the Steele dossier was complete and utter nonsense? Where are the experts that say this? I would like to know the experts that have said this. Jack Sellers, the Republican chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, said in a statement on Thursday that the auditors are, quote, portraying as suspicious what is actually normal and well known to people who work in this field. Well, okay, then where's the categorical definitive answer? They could be right. But nobody has stated categorically the discrepancy, the 74,000, the number 74,000 plus, the discrepancy that was derived, or that was that Arizona Republicans or the tech firm that they outsourced, the discrepancy that they found. Here's exactly why it took place. Here's exactly why the discrepancy took place. You're not hearing that. How hard is it? Like, if you believe that Arizona Republicans are wrong, and like I said, even I'm going to tell you that within this issue, the Arizona Democrats could be right. But there hasn't been an actual rebuttal. You cannot say that officials and experts disagree, so therefore it's false. It doesn't make any sense at all. You couldn't even have a relationship like that. Honey, where'd you put the remote control? I put the remote control near the television. No, experts within the manufacturing of televisions have stated that you probably put the remote control near the refrigerator. You know who told me? A lot of experts. Your mother told me. The kids told me. We have a lot of experts and a lot of people who've told me otherwise. So therefore, you're wrong. Fact check. Debunk claim. You're wrong. Next time, try a better excuse for losing the remote control. Fact check. Dun, 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 dun. They by the way, they don't utilize the same logic. They don't utilize the same logic when going after Trump or Republicans. So, okay, what we heard today represents an alternate reality that has veered out of control. No, it hasn't. Look at the hyperbole. It's an alternate reality. Dr. Spock, help me get out of this alternate reality. It's like if you investigate Trump on the allegations of John Brennan and Clapper without any direct evidence, they were very clear. We don't have any direct evidence, Chuck Todd. They were very honest in that respect. They had no direct evidence. It was James Comey's memos. What if, actually, Peter Navarro had a memo of his own. He had a White House report. Here's a dossier. Believe that. Don't believe the report from Trump's White House. Here's an assessment from an evaluation from Clapper and Brennan. Definitely don't listen to Richard Grenell and John Radcliffe. Don't listen to those intel chiefs. Listen to our intel chiefs. And now you're having these generals were petrified of Trump. I don't think so. I don't think they were petrified of President Trump. I don't think they were petrified of President Trump. Everything is hearsay, and they don't have any... Like, Madam Secretary had private servers with top secret intel. You could talk about why the servers existed, what was on those servers, how much classified data, whether or not there was intent, the legal statutes pertaining to owning servers. Okay? You could, Kelly Loeffler and Richard Burr and Dianne Feinstein had stock trades after classified briefings. Stock trades after classified briefings. Okay? Stock trades after classified briefings where they sold stock in the market. They sold stock right before the market downturn. Do you think maybe there was insider trading there? Because I didn't get a classified briefing. Did you? Did you ever get a classified briefing? All 485, 500 people here? Modesto, everyone here, M. Ray, did you get a classified briefing? Eric and Luke, where's your classified briefing? Did you sell stocks right before the market downturn after a congressional meeting where you were given information that nobody in the United States had access to so you could sell at the top of the market? And I'm telling you, with the hysteria, we're Mad Max, watch the movie. It'll be life very soon. Mad Max. But at least Biden is such a good person. He's such a good person. He loves the vanilla ice cream. He's a good person. He doesn't tweet. He doesn't mean. He's not mean. Trump is mean. Trump is mean. He's always bullying people. He's a mean person. He's so mean. We had record low unemployment and great foreign policy, but he's mean. People were working. Wages were increasing. He's mean, though. I'd much rather have this dystopian world, Mad Max. You know what? It's fine. Waterworld. We live in Waterworld now. At least we had Biden, who's a good person. What did he do wrong? What did he ever do wrong in his life? He's a good person. He eats a vanilla ice cream. How can you not like that? He's a good person. He wears the aviators. He's a good person. It's okay. He can't find his way out of a room fine, but he's a good person. That's how they want you to think of. That's how they want you to think of our beloved President Biden. And so the thing is, you look at how they try to control and manipulate emotion. It's you cannot be suspicious of us. We're the only ones who can be suspicious of you. We can believe baseless claims. You can't believe baseless claims. If there's a discrepancy found, 74,000 plus, that's a logical explanation. It's very likely this. We can't tell you if it's 100% this, but it's very likely this. So your claim is false. 100% false. Your claim is 100% false. And it's like, thank you, Peter. It's like, this never happened before. This type of journalism never happened before. Fact check, fact focus. President Obama claims he didn't know about Clinton's private servers. This is impossible for a number of reasons. Experts have said that as president, he would be emailing his Secretary of State. In fact, we interviewed this one cybersecurity expert, and he said that it's almost impossible for the White House not to have known that the Secretary of State was using private servers for 4 years. Furthermore, intel agencies also knew. That would have gotten back to the president. And we can go on forever. Experts say that Richard Burr and Dianne Feinstein almost certainly sold stocks before the market downturn. We've spoken to one SEC attorney, and he says it has all the hallmarks of insider trading. You never get this type of journalism leveled at anyone else. You have to understand something, ladies and gentlemen. I think President Trump, I think Arizona Republicans need to understand this too. It's like, this is public relations. You're looking at public relations. This is not journalism. Journalism should be independent of any political side. If Trump really worked with Russia, I do want to know. He didn't, though. Because in a court of law, if you're making allegations against somebody and you're saying that the person is a criminal, in a court of law, you need to prove that. Okay? Now, with Clinton, for example, the servers had top secret intelligence. You simply can't have servers with top secret intelligence. You can't. It's against the law. And you don't even need intent. But James Comey manipulated everything. The entire media didn't care. They didn't want... They were saying that Clinton was going to win in a landslide. And I said that Trump was going to win. I was right about that. I was the only person on the left saying this, and nobody would listen. And then when they were mortified and embarrassed and completely humiliated, they then utilized they channeled all that angst and frustration and anger into 4 years of Trump worked with the Kremlin. That never happened. It simply never happened. It's an absurd tinfoil hat theory promoted by all the smartest people in the room. And, you know, when you look at the way these things are written, I mean, you can look at, you know, AP fact check. Trump makes false claims about Arizona audit. So, okay. You look, all of this is false. Ballots are unofficial. We're not unofficial. We are seeing a lot of very thin paper stock being used. Logan added. So they're all over the place here. It's the same. He claimed this could be. Logan pointed to ballots with the printing slightly offset between the front and back. So Trump made a claim about the paper. Then the fact is, the paper was fine, and Logan never even alleged that the paper was the issue. So they'll slice and dice President Trump's statement. He was talking about the issue with the ink. So then Logan pointed to ballots printing slightly offset. So it's like, okay, that could be, Democrats could be right about that too. These are all bizarre anomalies. So Trump citing 74,000. Okay, received, never mailed. Magically appearing. Okay, facts. No, there were no magically appearing. He is alleging the number of people. But that's not what happened at all. The claim mischaracterizes reports created for political. Mischaracterizes reports. This is the viewpoint of experts. This is not a categorical fact. What'll happen is they'll say, like, no, that's not true. Somebody else disagreed with Trump, so that's true, and they'll leave it at that. This is why people don't trust media, because there's this immediate react. Like the Associated Press used to be the most unbiased. It used to be the most unbiased, impartial, objective news source. Now it's very much like the Washington Post, New York Times, CNN, MSNBC. The claims are not refuted directly. These claims are never directly refuted. This is like here, CNN fact check, Arizona audit chief baselessly raises suspicion. he baselessly raises suspicion. And of course, they have the Tubin back, and it's like, you tell me if any Republican would get the job back. You tell me if it's just unbelievable. They can literally do anything. Like you can go ahead and Tubin, and it could be on a live stream or Zoom, and you'll get your job back. But if a Republican in Arizona wants to recount, it's the end of the world. Do you understand? So Logan made clear that this wasn't necessarily a case. It could be a clerical issue, but this claim... Facts first. There's no evidence of misconduct. Here's why it's entirely normal for the county's submitted list to include significant numbers of votes that do not match up. Here's why it's entirely normal. Here's why it's entirely normal is not a rebuttal. Here's why it's entirely normal does not mean that we've refuted your claim. That does not mean that. It simply does not mean that. And then, okay, so I mean, I did this last segment. This is hilarious. They're trying to, like, the rebuttal is, I disagree with you, and here's why, and that means I'm right. You're looking at this CNN, like, I talked about this. The CNN article, the fact check, cites tweets. Okay? And then the tweets then show screenshots, and which then they could be right, but that's not. You are not refuting a claim from a Twitter account with the name. You could say you're a guru. You could say you work for ABC 15. You could say you work for the county, and you can go on Twitter and say, here's why they're wrong. But you cannot use the opinions of these people as a fact check because they have not proven anything. They've simply offered a rebuttal based on their viewpoints. Their viewpoints are not necessarily based on facts. They could be 100% right. Like I said last segment, the 74,000 number could be a clerical issue. It could be an issue with two sets of numbers being merged together. The verification, the signature issue, that's actually an issue. They didn't even really respond to that. The only response was, well, we do a great job because we follow all the protocol. That's the only issue that is there. We do a great job because we follow all the protocol, and that's it. Both the county and experts say there's a simple explanation. Well, who cares? Who cares what experts in the county say? They have to prove the number was obtained by an accident and not by misconduct. That's what the whole recount is about. The recount found a gigantic discrepancy. The discrepancy is explained by, well, these experts in the county believe differently. That's not, they then have to simply, then you have this interesting, a really, really interesting, like public relations or advertising endeavor. It's really interesting. There's one company that says, look, if you just allow us, Michael the Archangel, hello, if you just allow us to to do our own recount based on publicly available information. We'll give you a better number. We'll give you a better tally. And it's like, okay. I really don't know if that is, like, how on earth does that address any of the concerns leveled by Trump? The issue is Trump does not trust the Democrats in Arizona. Trump, I'm going to say it slowly, so the wonderful, beautiful, amazing, morally superior Democrats can hear this and maybe comprehend it. Trump does not trust you. You do not trust Trump. You started this world, or this paradigm of politics, when you questioned the legitimacy of his presidency from day one. From the moment that he defeated Clinton, you questioned the legitimacy of his presidency, and now you're indignant he would do the same to you. The reason people don't trust media generally is that fact check, Trump makes false claim. He didn't really make a false claim. He made a claim that they didn't like that was somewhat hyperbolic, but that touched upon an issue that hasn't been addressed. Well, look, why would the ink be different? No, I'm not. That's like the go-to for every Democrat. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I had to unhide somebody because I thought that... Okay, so hold on one second. Unhidden, yeah. Sorry about that. I didn't read the entire message. There's a breakdown in logic because this is the thing. And it's actually... We have 10 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. If you have trouble sleeping, I can assure you that this segment will help cure your insomnia. We have a breakdown in logic in our world today because there's two primary reasons. One, the contempt and disdain for Trump will lead to millions of people suspending logic, like basic reasoning skills. They'll just simply suspend the logic. And like basic reasoning skills, they'll suspend. And two, I mean, the contempt for Trump is one thing, but you have virtually all of media on one political side. And so this is why, like, there's so much effort in trying to tell everyone not to trust Trump that the opposite happens. The opposite takes place. Like, don't, he lied again. He lied again. Yeah, but you lie also. Like, they don't understand that half the country views Democrats to be liars. They don't get that. It's like impossible for them to understand. Let's assume for a second that all Trump does is lie. But that's all they do also. If you wanted to say that, I think that Trump compared to Democrats, Trump tells the truth. Like, he's hyperbolic, but he's told the truth more often. Like, for 4 years, he stated every day, I didn't work with Russia. They stated, you worked with Russia. Who was right? He was right. They were wrong. They made baseless claims every single day. Then they said he was a criminal. He had a criminal empire, a financial labyrinth that only Al Capone would, that rivals Al Capone. They couldn't find anything. They were wrong on that. He was right. They got his tax returns, and they found nothing. Then, they impeached him right before the end of the world. They impeached him. Right before, and they weren't worried about anything but impeaching Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just go ahead really quickly. Let's go ahead here. Let's type in Trump really quickly for the next couple minutes. This is like a news story by Landslide by Michael Review. Trump's final days of delirium. Did he commit a crime? No. Did he start an endless military conflict? No. What did this mean? Oh, the delirium. That's The Guardian. Yahoo News. Okay, ex-Joint Chiefs Chairman Mike Mullen. Incredibly disturbing that military leadership would fear Trump, an endeavor by Trump. It's disturbing that they would fear something that Trump was accused of, that nobody has proven. Do you realize that if they could prove that he actually tried to do that, he would be in prison forever? They can't prove that because it never happened. Because this is all hyperbole. And these are the ones who are the people who are like, oh, truth matters. Then why don't you ever report the truth on Trump? You can say you don't like his policies. You could say you don't like his personality. But to compare him to despots and tyrants and authoritarians, like, no, he didn't do any of those things. You can make an easier comparison with Biden between mass incarceration and siding with Bush. Much easier comparison. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. To my super chat, well, Ringen, thank you so very much. Ringen Constitutional. Thanks, everybody. I will be back tomorrow. I'll probably start off with an upload tomorrow. And be here tomorrow. I appreciate the support, everybody. Aria! I'm about to end the live stream, but thank you, Aria. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much. Ringen Constitutional, thank you to my super chat. Thank you, Eric and Luke. Thanks so much to the moderators. Check out the upload this morning in maybe 7 hours, 8 hours.